different sites and looked at, we're going to go to the scriptures also to show this. In the midst of everything, we had the Ark of the Covenant. Watch how particular this gets. In the west, we had Ephraim as a head tribe. And we had two generals coming or associated with Ephraim, which was Manasseh, and we had Benjamin. All right? This is the west gate. On the south gate, you can show all of this in scripture, we had the chief tribe, Reuben. And then we had Reuben, under him was Gad, and it was Simeon. And we had, in the east gate, we had Judah, the head tribe, and we had from Judah, we had Issachar and Benjamin. Everything in the scriptures means something. Their formation, where they were located at, we have to pay very close attention to what's going on here. This has a lot to do with astrology, a whole lot. Now, we had west, south, east, so we're looking for the north side now, right? Oh, excuse me, I have Benjamin in two places. Okay, Issachar, Benjamin. This should be, we have Dan. So we have Manasseh, Benjamin, Gad, Reuben, Simeon. We have Issachar, Benjamin. Let me write this down, and then I'll figure out which was the last, because we had Dan as a head tribe. I know that. We had Dan as a head tribe, Naphtali. And we had, I think this one is supposed to be Simeon. So we have Simeon, Dan, we have Asher, let's see, we have Ephraim, Manasseh, Benjamin, Gad, Reuben, Simeon, Zebulon, that's what we're missing, Zebulon. So this one here was Zebulon.
It should be under Yahuah.
Zebulon?
To the east, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yahuah, Issachar, and Zebulon. And Benjamin, yeah.
So this one was Zebulon. Zebulon. Now, which tribe is missing? Right. Right, so he's in the middle. He's the representative, so he's in the midst of the congregation. He's the one that's actually performing the ceremonial services. So I just found that very interesting, and just want to talk about, when we go into the book of Kings, their central location, how all of this was now centered around the location of 7 planets. All right, so it gets real interesting, because then we start to go in the whole purpose of the menorah, because we talk about the 7 lamps, the candlesticks there. Now, this is all going to be important to count. Yashra'al structural position. The 12 tribes of Yashra'al in groups of 3, okay, 1, 2, 3, with heads of each tribe, was spiritually situated at a certain distance. Okay, we were told to stay a certain distance from the ark. Around the tabernacle. 4 of the tribes were Judah, Reuben, Ephraim, and Dan. These were tribal leaders. Each had his own banner, indicating it was a tribal head, while the other tribes had ensigns or lesser types of banners. As you might see with a breastplate that I have. You have your breastplate? Anybody was that? What was that breastplate all about? We know that when a priest would actually pray to the Father, where the breastplate would actually light up. Okay, so the colors also meant something because each tribe was represented by a color. So, yeah, by a stone and a color. And light is so important. This orb, this light. I had done some research. It even talks about like how when a person first wakes up in the morning, and the different types of light sets off a certain type of energy the first thing in the morning. So they talked about like a red light or a blue light versus a light like this coming on first thing in the morning, where it actually does something to your senses, where you're not as active anymore versus now other colors, okay, that produces a different type of energy. So just wanted to share that. I just found that interesting. But again, Judah, Reuben, Ephraim, and Gad, they were tribal leaders, and each had his own banner, indicating that it was a tribal leader. So we also know that each tribe was represented by an animal. Okay, so these banners that Ephraim had, his banner, Reuben had his banner, Dan had his banner, indicating that they were head of the tribes. And it was represented by a particular stone. We have the stones. I didn't write down all the names of the stones. You have the stones in each other tribe. They have smaller banners, indicating that they were also leaders, but not heads of other tribes. So all of them had those ensigns and those banners. Now, let's go to the book of Numbers. We're going to go through all of this here. Everything that I just wrote down, we're going to go to the book of Numbers, the 2nd chapter, verse 2 to 34. If we can have Zakane Yahuah, okay, to go to Numbers, the 2nd chapter. Everything that we went through here, we're going to talk about here. Let me just look at this again, make sure this is right. Right. Yeah. 2, the 2nd chapter, we're going to, well, that's a lot of reading. We'll break it up. If you can do the 2nd chapter to the 10th verse, I'll get somebody else to do some more reading on after that.
Numbers, 2nd chapter, verse 2. Every man of the children of Yashra'al shall pitch by his own standard with the inside of their father's house.
Right.
Far off about the tabernacle of the congregation.
Far off by the tabernacle, right?
Right.
So we had to be a certain distance. And the reason why is because, take for example, the father said, listen, I need everybody to stand 4 feet away from the tabernacle. 4 feet means 4 feet. If you was to stand 3 feet, rest assured you're going to die. Okay? You have to learn how to follow instructions. Don't stand 5 feet. 4 feet means 4 feet. Just the way that the instructions was given at Mount Sinai. The instructions at Mount Sinai is that you're supposed to stay away from your wives stay away from your husbands, and I need for you to be clean, set apart for these 3 days here. Not 2 days and a half, 2 days and a quarter. 3 days means 3 days. We must follow instructions. All right, so we had to stand a certain distance away from the congregation, from the covenant, the Ark of the Covenant. I didn't find exactly how many feet that was, but maybe I can come back to that a little bit later. But read on.
For off of the congregation shall they pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And on the east side, towards the rising of the sun, shall they of the standard of the camp of Yahuah
Okay, east.
pitch throughout their armies. And Nahashon, the son of Amminadab, shall be captain of the children of Yahuah.
Mm-hmm.
And his host, and those that were numbered of them, were 614,600. And thus that they pitched nets until, and thus that do pitch nets unto him shall be the tribe of Issachar.
Right, Issachar is
of Zuar shall be the captain of the children of Issachar, and his host, and those that were numbered thereof, were 54,400.
That's a lot of people, huh?
Then the tribe of Zebulun,
It's all in the east, you know.
Ebelite, the son of Helon, shall be the captain of his children Zebulun, and his host, and those that were numbered thereof, are 57,400.
Right, so we should have a total now of 186,400 men that were 20 years old and up. All right, just with inside of the east gate. Read on.
And that were numbered in the camp of Yehudah were 100,000 and 4,000 and 6,400 throughout their armies. These shall first set forth. On the south side shall be the standard of the camp of Reuben, according to their army.
Right, Reuben is the head tribe.
And the captain of the children of Reuben shall be Eleazar, the son of Zadiel, and his host. And those that were numbered thereof were 46,500. And those which pitched by him shall be the tribe of Simeon. And the children of the Simeon shall be Zelumiel, the son of Jerusalem, and his host. And those that were numbered of them were 59,300. Then the tribe of Gad, and the captain of the sons of Gad, shall be Elazaph, the son of Ruel, and his host. And there were numbered of them 45,650.
Right, so you have a total with them of 151,450 men. All right, these were our soldiers. We don't. If you have to win, you can go ahead. Because I'm
All
going to
that
get
were
down.
numbered, all that were numbered in the camp of Reuben were 100,000 and 51,450 throughout their army, and it shall set forth in the second rank. Then the tabernacle of the congregation shall set forth with the camp of the Levites in the midst of the camp.
So the Levites were in the midst of the camp. Okay, this is where the Levites were at.
As they encamp, so shall they set forth, every man in his place by their standard. On the west side shall be the standard of the camp of